people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. For today's video, I really wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened to me, like a revelation that I experienced that was really unexpected and perfectly timed. I heard a message earlier this week. It was really inspiring to me, and at the end of the message, we were told to ask God, what about us reflects God? Basically, after we were asked that question, we had a moment in silence where we got to really think about it and really talk to Jesus and journal about it. So I asked God, I said, okay, God, what about me reflects you? God just started talking to me and a list of things that he put in me to reflect himself to other people. It just started being told to me, and it was so precious, and I was so caught off guard, I guess, because it was really amazing. And so you guys, I was leaving the service that night. I was leaving and I felt like God was giving me an invitation into a different kind of life, to be rid of the fear and insecurities that I have. Currently living in a new place, I'm really insecure about going to talk to new people, thinking that, well, everyone already has their friends, everyone already has their situations, they don't actually want to hang out with me, they don't actually want to talk to me, I don't have anything to offer, I'm not wise, all those things in my head of I'm just going to annoy this person, or I don't want to reach out because I don't want to bother anybody. Those are insecurities and fears that stem from things and all that fun stuff that have been sitting on my head since I moved here. And it felt like God was inviting me to live a life where I just knew that those weren't true. He was telling me, okay, actually, none of that's true. I just listed all these really incredible things about you. So now you get to believe this list instead of this list of insecurities. You don't answer to the fear anymore. You're not a slave to the fear of being annoying, to the fear of people not wanting you, not needing you. Now you get to assume that people do want you and people do need you, because guess what? People need you. You have things to offer. These are the things that I've reflected myself in you to give to people. I've been told this stuff before. I've been told that, hey, these insecurities aren't true, but it was all in my head. And I felt like the second I asked God that question and the second he invited me into this new life, I felt like those things in my head moved down to my heart and it became real to me. So now there's that fear of reaching out to get together with a new friend. Normally when I do that, there's a little bit of fear of rejection there. There's a little fear of annoyance there. But now when I do that, it's God is telling me people need you because people need me. And I'm kind of nervous putting this video out because I don't want it to come across wrong. I don't want it to come across boastful. I want it to come across as I know who I am. And I want you guys to know who you are too, because I believe deep in my heart that this message that God gave me, this invitation, this is for everybody. So you guys, I want to encourage you to go ask God, what about you reflects him? All of us are made to look like him. I'm reading this book, Captivating, by John and Stacey Eldridge, and it's such an incredible book. It's talking about how women are created in the image of God too. Women reflect a different part of God's heart than the man reflects. Woman reflects the emotions, the sensitive feminine side of God. And you guys, it's so cool because reading that, I kind of realized in my head, there's a lot to him that I don't think we fully understand. And it's really special because he created us all so differently and so uniquely. But each one of us, we show something of him. So find out what it is that God put in you to use to spread his love. Find out what that is and hold on to that. Be confident in that, because people need you. People need you. Just like people need me. And when we go into these conversations, we go into these friendships or these social events or things that would originally be scary. Listen, if you're scared of annoying people, I get it. That's for some reason, that's been a fear that has followed me around for as long as I can remember. I don't know why, and it's not fun, but it's almost I don't have to fear that anymore. It's once we know the truth, it's we can start choosing to believe that. It's almost like a declaration. I declare that I'm going to stop assuming that I annoy everybody and just show up instead. I will no longer hide in fear. I will choose to show up because I have a lot to offer and people need me. Show up as yourself. Don't show up as what you think people want, what you think people need, but show up as you, because that's the most authentic, beautiful thing in the world, is to show up as yourself. Putting ourselves out there and showing up is scary and it's vulnerable, but it's also brave. And I believe that God made you to be brave, and I believe that God made me to be brave. So we need to start living vulnerable, brave lives. Start reaching out. Show up at that party, show up at that lunch, reach out to that friend for coffee, because you have things to offer that person. That person needs you, whether they know it, whether you know it. Show up bring yourself and just be brave. We'll be brave together. It's easier when it's together. Fear pisses me off. Fear is such a tool and such a lie, and I believe that fear is what keeps people from doing this and what keeps people in a shell for themselves. And the only way to get rid of fear in my history and knowledge is talking about it. Talk about it with someone you trust. I'm here to talk about it with. Email me if you have these fears that you can't overcome, because it's like, we don't have to be a slave to that fear anymore. Fear comes from lies. Lies come from the enemy. That's not true. So we need to start looking for the truth, looking for what in us reflects God, and use that, garden that, bring that to the table, and watch what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to be a part of what I'm doing, if you want to support me, go check out my Patreon page. That's where we're going to be continuing this conversation on. That's where we can talk more about fear, more about insecurities, more about shame, and whatever else it is that we're struggling with, you guys. We're in this together. If you want to be involved in those conversations, check out my Patreon page. There's going to be a link in the description box below, or click that box on the side of the screen. That's where we're going to be talking, sharing stories, and just being there for each other. Okay, I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week.